So I talked about doing this one time before. I've got a wheel that goes on a roll around cart over there, and this shaft is too short. So I seem to have done an awful lot of recording out here this morning that didn't get recorded due to a setting on my phone. I don't understand what happened, but we'll just move on from it. But what I did do is I had this wheel for my little roll around chair, and this bolt was too short to make a connection. So I welded another bolt to it, and then I ground it down. Now I can see around the edge here that there's a crack in my weld, which needs to be fixed. So what I'm going to do, in order to get a hotter weld at this point, is I'm going to put this back in the vise. I'm going to get out my arc welder. I'm going to weld it with that, because the arc welder will weld that hot enough so that, see, when I'm grinding off the weld, I'm actually grinding off what's holding these two bolts together. And my goal is to get a longer bolt here that'll go down through this hole and allow me to put a nut on the other end of it to hold this together. And what I'm doing there now isn't going to do that based on what I'm seeing so far. So I'm going to put you back over here in a safer spot, and I'm going to clamp this back into here. I'm going to bring my arc welder over here. I'm not sure how much you've been following me, but I redid the plug-in on this arc welder the other day. I'm not sure if I've gotten that video made yet. But the nice thing about an arc welder is it is good and hot. This should do enough of a weld to get done what I need to do and to have it stay together. By the way, this is not a great welder. I think it's kind of an off-brand, old cheap welder. I'm kind of in the market for a better welder, but I'm kind of also trying to not spend all my money. No, not that I got any to spend right now. So, what I can do is hopefully get a weld on there that won't grind away. It'll be heavy enough to go down into that. I was trying to weld it with my little wire welder and have that be good enough, but it wasn't good enough. So I'm probably going to get some sparks in my feet. Hold my legs wide apart here. Wish me luck. Go ahead and put this other glove on. Having a hard time getting the fire to start. Sometimes rods get moisture on them and they won't go good. Might have got a pretty good burn on it that time. Thing is, you don't want to cook the wheel. This does get pretty hot. I've got a hammer for this somewhere, a special hammer, but I think it might be back in the back shed. It might be over in that box over there. This will do. Now what I'm going to do is grind all that excess stuff off of there. I can put the welder away. I think I can set this right in here. I don't see any sign of that weld not going down deep enough to hold. What I saw before when I welded it with the wire welder is that the weld material built up on the outside of the bolt, but it didn't penetrate the two bolts, which you need to get a weld inside of there if you're going to grind off the outside. The wire welder is really good for a lot of things, like welding lightweight metal. If you want to weld something thick and then be able to grind off what you weld but still have it welded inside, you just need more heat. And I suppose people that are familiar with their wire welders can get a weld that deep. I never have been able to with a wire welder. Certainly a hot weld is actually hot enough to have warped the bolt a little bit. That's something that does happen when you get a lot of heat too. In this case, it ain't going to hurt it none. Alright, let's go see if she'll fit down in the hole. It's not pretty, but it's there. I think it's 63 Impala that said that the difference between a good welder and a bad welder is a grinder. There might be some truth in that. Let's see where this... It's going down in there though. That might be good. That might be good enough. You probably take that out, because I bet that's hot enough to melt that plastic right there. So, oh look. See where my weld separated? So, do y'all know what that means? That means that I still did not penetrate that enough. See, I still did not penetrate that enough. You can see whereas it, yeah. So I still haven't welded this. I have welded all around the edges, but my weld still hasn't gone in there deep enough. What needs to happen is I need to get a weld all the way down inside of that, which is probably going to mean going right back to the arc welder, which is good that I haven't unconnected my arc welder. I can still bring it back over here and sit that right back in place and start again. Now I could try with my wire welder just to see if I could get a wire weld down in the crack. I think sometimes that's how they get weld, but I don't know. I'm willing to kind of waste my time doing that, because to be honest with you, I believe that I can do this. I'm going to need to put my grain back over here on this thing. Pretty sure we're going to be going out on the boat again here in a little while, which is going to be a good thing because I'm already a little hot and sweaty from doing this. I'm gonna oil these bearings up in this wheel. Well, I got this off of here. Now this might have managed to get this on here enough with a skinny enough weld to go down in there. What I might do is take me a drill a little bigger hole on this side. So I can get more of that weld down in there. And I think I got a pretty good sized drill bit handy by over here. I see, where's my drill? It might be, here it is.
I got a text from Todd saying they ended up going to Anderson.
Okay. Alright.
Oh. We haven't checked the mail in a while, have we?
I did the other day.
Oh, you did?
I
What,
did.
yesterday?
I think I checked it. I don't think I checked it yesterday. Yeah. Okay. So the camera told me that it was overheated, so it stopped working. But here's the finished product. And it could be prettier, but I think it's good and sturdy because I tightened that up pretty good. I did wind up with a bunch of washers under there. Probably if I'd have had a big nut, I could have put on that. I could have eliminated some of those washers, and I might find a big nut to use as a spacer. But for now, that's on there and it's firm because I tightened that. If it was subject to break, it would have broke when I tightened that down. So this is a usable thing again, which is awesome because that belonged to my dad. That was a Sears product. The days are gone when you could take something that you bought at Sears back and get a return on it, but there's Dad's name on it right there. He wheeled around on that little baby a lot. And now I wheel too. I just have to keep an eye on these things, make sure these little funny nuts here. See, that's what's supposed to be on that. That is a Allen head thing. It goes down in there like a sleeve and it tightens on that little short bolt. That's why I had to put a long bolt on here, is because I couldn't find a nut like that.